Hey everybody, we're Pole DFS. I'm Ricky.
I'm Keaton.
And we're going to talk to you today about the Masters.
Augusta National Golf Club.
Yeah, the big one. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting, awesome tournament, and tons of DFS action this week.
Yeah, so this is the week where, hopefully, if you are an experienced DFS player like me, someone who has upwards of a month and a half of experience.
Upwards of one top 10 finish, though.
Upwards of one top 10 finish, exactly. I'm excited because there's going to be a lot of opportunities. There's going to be a lot of really big person tournaments. There's a lot of, but there's going to be a lot of novice people who don't know what they're doing. So hopefully that will.
I saw a Sports Illustrated article this morning encouraging people to take a shot at the $10 Millie Maker on DraftKings. There is a Sports Illustrated article about it. So, previewing the field and giving links to sign up. So, just for reference, there will be.
But if you want to sign up and you haven't yet, check our show notes, and you'll get my code, and I will also get a entry. I don't know what exactly. I think you get $15. Yeah. So. Which is good. I used my $15 to turn it into $0.
You could also turn your
$15 into $0. But anyways, to start the show, our weekly show beer is Ice Cube's A Pimp. I was originally told this was Dr. Dre's A Pimp, and I was pretty excited about the possibilities of playing some old school Dr. Dre.
I don't know how YouTube's copyright algorithm works. I feel like we probably can't play more than like 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, this is an awesome beer. It's super tasty from Southern Range Brewing in Monroe, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte.
Yep.
Super tasty beer. Thanks, Southern Range.
Yep. And as always, a thank you to our viewers. For your first-time viewers, make sure to like and subscribe. For you non-first-time viewers, make sure to like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe.
I was going to say, you're assuming that because they viewed before they subscribed. That is a bold
We have
assumption.
100% retention rate as far as my knowledge goes.
But throw a comment below with your pick to win the Masters. That engagement, throwing a comment definitely helps us. So, throw a comment who you think is going to win the Masters this week. Exactly.
And we have a $5 DraftKings tournament that we'll talk about at the end. You can join.
We'll put a link in the show notes,
We've got some slots still available, so you can compete against us and probably beat me
and have my $5
and lose to this guy. Nonetheless, we are currently watching on another TV right here the
Scotty Scheffler meltdown.
Yeah. So we don't have a recap of the Valero results because we're trying to get this out early, so that we can get it in as many people's faces as possible. So as we go, again, this is, I guess, Friday a week before, almost a week before.
My pricing came out super early for the Masters.
So as we keep going, make sure to watch our Twitter, which is also below, for any updates as we, people withdraw.
No one better withdraw from the Masters. Brooks, I guess, probably. Brooks is probably going to withdraw.
Brooks scares me. But any updates, any insights that Keaton may randomly have one night, on who to pick and who not to pick. But anyways, as we go through, we're going to talk about the Masters today. We got the course field overview. We've got some odds. We've got our picks, as well as just the player pool in general.
Yep.
And just jumping into the Masters.
Augusta National Golf Club, par 72, 7,485 yards. The standard 4 par 5s, 4 par 3s. Some past winners, and I think prior course history is probably huge at Augusta, more so than other tournaments. I don't know if it's the difficulty of the course, nerves of playing at the Masters, combination of both, but I think we'll talk about it here in a minute, but no one has won in their first appearance since 1979. It also tends to be top 20, top 30 type golfers that win this event. And so you'll see, looking through the past winners, Dustin Johnson won last year with Sanjay and Cameron Smith running up. Tiger is probably the exception to that top 30 rule. He probably wasn't in the top 30 when he won in 2019.
He was.
Was he really in the top 30 in 2019? Is he in like the 50th now? Okay, anyways. Reed and Fowler, 2018. Sergio, 2017. Even Danny Willett was in good form when he won in 2016. And Spieth in 2015. So I would wager the winner probably again comes from the top 30-ish golfers in the world this year, but I guess anything can happen at the Masters. And Ricky, you're furiously Googling what...
he was 12th coming in and 6th going out.
In 2019...
He finished second in the British Open the year before, you dum-dum.
Wow, okay.
Put some respect on Tiger Woods' name.
Well, not 2019 Tiger. If we go back and look, Tiger's...
Nonetheless, ignoring everything that he's saying right now, I think we have seen that people who are good at the Masters and are good at Augusta are repeatedly good at the Masters and good at Augusta.
Yeah.
And so you see the same people cropping up every time. It's the reason why Bubba Watson's won 2 Masters. It's the reason why you see Spieth won in 15 and 16. You see the people keep showing up over and over again. DJ finished second and then first.
Yep.
It's I think more so than a lot of places, and that's not to say that people, new people don't come up into that, but you see it more so than other places where the people who are going to be good are going to be good. Why you see people, we'll talk later about, people like Adam Scott, who has been consistently good at Augusta.
Yeah.
And then just going beyond that, even Sergio is a good example of somebody who, he finally broke through and won, and
he's played really well too recently this year. So
that's definitely something to keep an eye on when you're picking, is people who have been, quality performers at the Masters before. Sure, there's some people who are going to surprise. There are every year. I don't imagine that Cameron Smith was on anyone's radar in November, but just as we move forward to the course itself.
Yeah, it looks like it's actually going to rain pretty early in the week. Monday and Tuesday look like they have some showers, and then even on to Thursday and Friday, some thunderstorms. So could have a wet course early in the week and a possible for either some thunderstorm delays or maybe just some damp course conditions on Thursday and Friday. So here, back to the course, no one's won in their first appearance since 1979. And looking over some key stats, course history, I usually don't include that on our key stats, but I think at the Masters it's important, like we talked about, to highlight some guys that have done well here in the past. Putting is one that I usually also don't include on this list, but looking over some lists for what winners have done well here, putting looks like it was a stat that winners have consistently done. And then par 5 scoring is one that we have a lot of times in our model, but at the Masters, it looks like that's another stat that seems to pop with winners. So
yeah, no, and I mean, I think you see time and time again that it's not always. You got some exceptions like Zach Johnson winning, but a lot of the times it's going to be somebody that hits the ball a long ways is going to be this set yourself up. This course has been. This obviously is one of the courses that was constantly changed to try to keep Tiger from winning every year, even though he still did. But
so I feel like someone like Bryson that can attack the pin might have an advantage here.
Exactly. So we'll definitely. I mean, I think Bryson's somebody that I'm going to be probably pretty big on.
Okay.
But at the same time, I don't know. It's pretty tight though. There's a lot of trees.
And there's a lot of good players in this field.
I imagine Bryson might be in the trees a lot, but that's just my guess. He might not be. I don't know.
The field is either going to be 89 or 90 golfers. There's 89 golfers currently qualified. And then the Valero that's going on right now, if the winner is not already qualified, they will also get a spot in the Masters. But that otherwise, in terms of the top 50 in the field, things like that, that's already locked. It's only going to be the winner. And so currently Tringale is leading the tournament by 3 strokes, I believe. Possibly 2 strokes.
2 or 3, yeah.
And he has not qualified for the Masters. So Tringale could sneak in.
And the way that he's been playing, if he does... Do you know what his price tag is on DraftKings?
He's not in the field.
They wouldn't put him in.
He'll be in Monday. You'll get if you're registered for any tournaments, you'll get an email that says, we've added such and such player to your field.
Yeah. He is somebody that, has been playing so out of his mind.
I would wager he would be in the low 7Ks if he qualifies, around like the
and I'd probably
Coco range. He's looking great. I imagine he'll be popular.
And top 50 make the cut, so a little bit, fewer people make the cut than a normal week of top 65, but there's a lot
much
less
smaller.
golfers.
Yeah,
so
745.
we also noted here that even though there is 89 or 90 golfers, there's how many we end up talking? 5 to 10
that probably just aren't going to make it. There's the 3 amateurs this year,
and normally 1 or 2 of them make the cut, but they aren't going to be
Last year, 2 made it. We had 5 amateurs last year, and 2 made it. This year, we've got only 3 amateurs, so we'll see.
Yeah, and like we were looking through
some older past winners. Who is your boy, the old German that won?
Bernhard Longer.
There you go.
Bernhard Longer's here. Yeah, but it's guys who could make the cut, but I would not pick them on my DFS.
I'm probably not rostering Fred Couples.
Yeah,
in my DFS
probably
roster.
not.
He's probably the bare minimum 6K though. So
also true. So
But so once you remove those type of players, we're really talking about maybe call it 80 golfers in your pool, or not necessarily in your pool. You're going to cut it down more than 80, but 80 golfers realistically, even before you start pairing, and then 50 you're going to make the cut. So really high 6 of 6 this week. So it's going to be those top finishes that are really going to differentiate the winners.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just definitely something to keep a handle on. I think that also kind of makes me want to play more top golfers. Like, I'm not going to care as much about, is this guy going to make the cut, as so much as do I think this guy can finish top 10.
Yeah.
Or, so, a
most
lot of
guys should make the cut.
Most of the guys should make the cut, and obviously there's going to be outliers. But we don't see as many outliers as you see at like the Players where we talked about a couple weeks ago,
or a U.S. Open or something like that.
I personally feel comfortable in picking more based on where I think they're going to finish than do I think this person's going to be able to make the cut. But depending on how you build your roster out, and that's something probably you want to talk a little bit more about how whether or not you're you go heavy on the top on the most expensive guys, and then sprinkle in some lower guys, or do you kind of go in the middle or that type of thing?
I think all that's viable this week. One thing I would note this week is that the pricing is softer, like we saw for the Players. So DraftKings tends to do this when we get to the major tournaments, and the Players not quite a major, but call it that 5th major. DraftKings does make the pricing a little bit softer. So DJ, we'll see as we get through the pricing, is the most expensive golfer. I think he's 11.5 or 11.6. But there's not too many golfers even in the $11,000 range. There's even less in the $10,000 range. And so really starting in that $9,000 range is where you start seeing golfers. And there's a ton of golfers in the 7-ish range. So DraftKings has made it easy for you to pick the 6 golfers you like, just like Players Week. But in terms of roster construction, one thing I would just kind of be cognizant of is avoiding guys that are going to be super, super popular. So I think Jordan Spieth will likely be the most popular golfer in the field. He will be
my most popular golfer in the field.
And so
I'm going to try to get over the field.
And that's exactly it. So roster construction points. If you want to golf for someone, if you want to roster a golfer like Jordan Spieth that's going to be uber owned, you just have to do it more than the field. So if you think 35% of the field is going to roster Dustin Johnson, then you need to roster him at least more than 35. Ideally, you really should be looking to get 1.5 or maybe even 2x the field if you really, really, really want to get some leverage. And by leverage, I mean you have more combinations of. So use a 20 max because it's easier to think about. If I'm playing in a 20 max tournament and I want to have 50% Dustin Johnson, that means 10 of my lineups are going to be him. If the field is only 30% Dustin Johnson, that means on average, an average person has, what's 30% of, what is it, 7? 6 and change?
6.
Okay.
It's just
an
6.
average person has 6 Dustin Johnson lineups. And so, if I'm over the field on him by, I'm 50% versus 30%, I'm going to have 10 DJ lineups versus 6 DJ lineups. And so the combinations I can associate with him gives me leverage on the field.
Yeah.
If I wanted ultimate leverage, I was uber confident in Dustin Johnson, and I wanted to just lock him in. I'd put him in 100% of my lineups. And so I'd have 20 combination of Dustin Johnson lineups.
That's a choice.
And then the field maybe rosters at 30%, and so the average person has 6 combination of DJ lineups. And
yeah, and just going off of that, it's all about your risk tolerance. If you're totally okay with doing 20 lineups, and you're okay with the possibility of, Dustin Johnson missing the cut and 15 to 20 of your lineups just are automatically at a disadvantage, then perfect. Because, honestly, and the thing about it is, for somebody with, Dustin Johnson, you're probably going to be okay if you do that. He's probably going to make the cut, probably going to finish up there. The thing about it is,
he's very expensive.
Oh yeah, and I think there's definitely better options that we'll talk about here in a minute. But the thing about it is that it's all about your risk tolerance and what you want. If you're able to, and this is the big thing that like I'm starting to learn. And some weeks it works out really well, and some weeks it doesn't. Is that I do 20 rosters a week, and when I try to have a small player pool as possible, I don't know how many, probably 20 to 25 people in my player pool, and because of that, I'm definitely missing out on the random people who shoot up the leaderboard some weeks.
Villegas this week.
Camilo, and that type of thing. But like, the weeks where I hit my people right, like last week, then I'm able to have a better shot because of the way that the different you just have different options, right? If you like Spieth and even if like Tringale or somebody like that we were talking about or we'll talk about, and you want them in a lot of things, like it's going to be better if you have 7 rosters with those 2 people and a different 4 where you're able to rotate them around, because invariably out of 6 people, one of those people is, even if they make the cut, not going to play as well. Just
someone's going to be Davis Loving and just missing the cut for you.
Yeah.
But I
took a shot on Davis Love this week, and I still like Davis Love.
And we've been sweating Davis Love by text message
from
this
Charlotte,
week.
No
So.
And a Tar Heel.
That's okay. Varner went bogey to finish his round and finished at +3
Did
to
you really?
break my heart.
Ouch.
He's going to hurt a lot of my lineups this week.
But nonetheless,
I think it makes it fun for roster construction this week, because I think you can go stars and studs, but if you are going stars and studs, just be cognizant if you are pairing popular higher-owned guys and then thinking you're going to drop down and choose from the popular value tier guys, that lineup is going to be duplicated 1,000 times in that massive field tournament. So if you are choosing popular players like a Jordan Spieth, a Dustin Johnson, really any of those top tier guys, Justin Thomas, Rahm, Spieth, McIlroy, and then some of the more popular lower tier values that we're going to get into, those lineups are going to be duplicated. So you have to either choose some less popular top end guys mixed with some more popular lower end guys, or if you're going to go to those popular upper end guys, you've got to find some lower end, who's the Cameron Smith from this year that is going to finish second at $7,300, I think what Cameron Smith cost last year in November. So just kind of think through roster construction. It doesn't make sense to, even if you see a guy is 10% owned in that lower price tier, he may be 10% owned overall, but of the people that build 2 or 3 studs and then have to go down to that 6,000 price tag, he may be 50% owned in those rosters. So just think through the rosters you're building to make sure, especially if you're entering some of that big field stuff.
Yeah, and if anyone has any questions, again, tweet at us. You can DM. I think our DMs are open.
Yeah, send us DMs. I'm happy to respond to questions.
Yeah, Keaton
send me a lineup. I'm happy to talk it through.
Keaton will respond in a substantively good way, and I will respond with mostly memes.
And I'm happy to talk through like ownership if you guys have questions about what we think.
And so that is something that we obviously want to do a little bit more of, is the interaction with other people, and that's why we're doing the tournaments and that type of thing, is to be able to really interact with the people who are watching us and not just be talking heads, because as talking heads, you can only be so interesting as talking heads.
But it's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, exactly. So as we move into the favorites and sleepers, I don't have access to gambling.
In North Carolina, it sounds like we will very soon. We can if we want to drive up to Asheville, which actually you could probably do for both of us. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will be there this weekend.
Actually, you should roll through and see what they have for PGA betting, and just
let us know. Open,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, the sportsbook's open, so see if they have top 10s, see what they got.
I might see if my dad wants to go
on. Let's get in.
Yeah,
Papa Parker into some gambling. All right. Anyways, into this week's favorites. So DJ is the odds-on Vegas favorite. I think most books have him at +800. We went to oddshopper.com. We'll show you all the odds kind of across the internet. It looks like one book has him at +900. So DJ at +900, then JT at +1100. Rahm, Spieth, McIlroy rounding out the rest of the people in the teens at 12, 13, and 1800 respectively. I kind of like McIlroy at +1800.
I do too.
I
like Spieth at 1300 though.
Speed's gonna be so popular this week, especially because he's just looking so good right now at Valero.
Yeah, and DFS wise, maybe not, but as
betting
wise, betting that.
Who cares how many other people? Yeah. I was looking at money coming in and Spieth, and I actually don't have him on here, but Bryson were the.
Where is Bryson?
I don't know actually. He must be somewhere between 22 and 3,300 would be my guess. But Bryson had some of the highest percentage dollars versus tickets. So kind of the way people look at where like the smart money is coming in is comparing the number of bets versus the dollar in bets.
Vegas Insider has him at 900. So.
Oh, I just skipped right over Bryson.
I just skipped right over.
My bad. I skipped right over Bryson, so he must be plus around 900 also.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what a lot of people look at where sharp money is coming in is comparing the dollars gambled versus the number of tickets. The idea there is that the casual gamblers are betting the number of tickets, whereas the high dollar bets are coming from your quote unquote sharps. And so looking at bets that have a higher percentage of the dollars versus number of tickets, meaning there is more high dollar bets being placed on that player. Bryson was actually, before this, when I last looked, was leading the field in terms of disparity between dollars and number of tickets. The other way, Dustin Johnson had the highest number of tickets versus dollars bet. So the public at large is on DJ and the sharps aren't on DJ as much.
Yeah. I mean, I think that probably is twofold, right? Is that DJ's such a big name, he just won. It may, make people, people with the money a little bit weary of that, while people who are pretty more casual bettors may, take that to, indicate future results. But also just the fact that you're not getting as much value at 900.
Yeah,
and I mean,
true.
We talked about Bryson, so Bryson is somewhere around there too. So maybe I'm conflating a little bit more, but if I'm a bettor, I don't really want to bet $100 on or $1,000 or
to win 900.
Yeah, exactly. When I could put it on some of these guys in the middle.
It's so much more fun to bet $100 to win $5,000 on Jason Day.
Exactly, and I think also there's just people there that. Yeah. Definitely can make money on.
Scott at plus 6,600. Yeah. We listed some of our favorite sleepers down here.
Yeah.
Max Homa's in good form. Now, he hasn't played the Masters before, and so going back to our prior course history line, I mean, that would be someone I'd be scared to play. But
he's been playing really, really well.
He's playing super well.
And, I noted, I made sure that Zach Johnson was included here, who looks like he's going to miss the cut at the Valero right now. But is somebody who has been so consistent lately and has been playing really, really well. And at plus 25,000, holy cow!
But DFS wise, so a missed cut this week may
definitely
keep his ownership low, and that may be an opportunity.
I'll probably pump him again. I pumped
him
this week. I pumped him last week.
I love going back to the guys that you pump that missed the cut and just going right back to the well. There was a reason you liked them, and they just had an off week. And 2 bad rounds doesn't make a bad golfer.
So just looking at as we normally like to look at the Vegas insiders, because that gives an indication of who a lot of people think might be pretty good. So
Vegas is pretty smart, yeah.
They are pretty smart. So, and then rolling into just the pricing itself, this is the upper echelon. Most
Dustin Johnson is not out. He is just listed as out because he withdrew this week.
Valera.
Yeah, and so these markings of outs are just players that withdrew the current week. DraftKings will update that as the week goes on, but. Up at the top of the board, you have DJ at $11,500. The only other $11,000 golfer is John Rahm, whose wife is due, I believe, the 3rd
Bryson
or
plus
5th
1,100,
of April.
by the way.
Plus 1,100 on Bryson, okay. John Rahm's wife is due any day now, early April. He has said he will leave the tournament if she goes into labor. So,
but call him on his bluff.
That seems ultra terrifying to roster John Rahm, and Saturday he gets the text and he's like, I'm out. But also if he's -6 and leading the tournament, is he really going to bounce?
No.
Or is he tell Baby Augusta
call his bluff. Call his bluff.
Because Baby Augusta will be born and meet her daddy in 2 days. And he's got $2 million extra dollars.
Yeah, no, I mean. I think obviously that is a little bit scary for Rahm, the possibility of withdrawing and leaving. Where is his wife?
I don't know where they're from. I mean, he's from Spain,
he's from
but
Spain,
I don't know where.
I think they're in the U.S.
living.
aren't they?
I would assume they're living in Florida, right?
That's a good assumption.
When in doubt, assume he lives probably in Jupiter, Florida.
It's a golfer, yeah.
I'm gonna Google after the show, but my money's on Jupiter, Florida. Palm Springs. Oh. But anyway, so there is the chance that he'll have to withdraw. So, presuming his wife's in Florida and he's going to be in Georgia, maybe a couple hour flight.
I mean, obviously, I think there's reasons there to not roster him.
I know you don't love Ron
also,
generally.
I just can't. imagine picking Rom off of the people on this list.
All the people
at
on
11,000,
this
he's so expensive.
He is. Of the people on this list,
You're telling me you like him $800 more than Rory.
No, I actually like DJ $500 more than John Rahm.
Yeah, I like Justin Thomas $400 less personally.
Thomas worries
with the way that he played to the players.
Yeah. He Saturday,
Put
Sunday,
him in,
he
boys.
Slayed the players on Saturday and Sunday. Really, Saturday he won the tournament. I think DJ and Rory are probably my favorites. Although Bryson, I will have my share of Bryson.
It's interesting. I'm probably not going to have much, if any, of Rahm for various reasons.
I probably also won't have a lot of Rahm.
I probably won't have a lot of Xander either, purely because... And I like Xander, and I think he's really, really good. And
his form hasn't been good recently.
It's been just okay, yeah.
Can he win with his C game? Probably not.
No.
Where DJ, I think, can win this tournament with his B game. DJ's playing his B game right now, and I think he can win this tournament.
Yeah, he's just ridiculously good at golf.
Yeah,
exactly. As we move down, again, this is
favorite range.
This is where I was gonna say. This is where this is the reason why I probably won't have a lot of Xander Schauffele.
That's fair.
Is because
starting your lineup here.
I'd probably rather end up with Morikawa, Spieth, or Reed.
And
probably
you could probably get two or three
of
of
Reed,
them.
boys.
I think Reed's going to be a killer play this week. I think he's going to be under-owned. Reed never gets the respect.
I don't understand
I
why
don't give Reed the respect he deserves.
I own so much of him every week.
Yeah, I think Reed in the Masters is going to be... that's how I feel about Spieth, though. Spieth, you play Spieth in the Masters.
Spieth and Reed have both shown that they are very good at Augusta. And like I said earlier, people who have showed that they're very good at Augusta tend to be very good at Augusta.
Yeah, I believe this is Cantlay and Morikawa's first Augusta appearances for both.
I don't have strong feelings about Cantlay.
I love Morikawa. He's an amazing ball striker.
So good.
And if he's going to come in low owned because he hasn't played here before, I'll get over on the field on Morikawa. Probably also on Cantlay. Cantlay's actually, when I made an early bet, I know it's stupid to make early bets, but you're itching to make a bet. So Cantlay's the only golfer I've bet so far at plus 3,300. I believe I bet him. So, it's the only golfer I've bet so far.
I like it. I think that makes total sense. And, as you go down the list, Brooks at 9,200 is interesting.
If Brooks plays, I am all about it.
Yeah.
He is dealing with a knee injury right now. I believe he had a minor surgery a couple weeks ago. And so I don't think Brooks is probably going to play.
You don't think he's going to play?
His goal has been to get ready for this tournament, but he hasn't said anything. We haven't seen anything.
Be shocked if he didn't play.
I'd be terrified to roster him if he doesn't play.
I think the thing is I think we will know by Thursday, though.
Will we know if he's going to in good health? I mean, is he going to go out there and chip one shot and just not feel good?
If he plays, he plays.
Okay. If he's in the field, he's healthy and ready to go.
I think so.
Corey Connors, +2, y'all. Trying to miss the cut.
He is trying very hard to miss the cut.
Trying to miss the cut. 14th hole.
Yeah, and I think that's somebody to definitely watch because at 9,200 he almost seems out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Like he definitely seems like somebody who, under a normal scenario, would be closer to the $11,000 guy.
Yeah, he's a DJ type dominator.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think Reed being at 9,300, and I know like he's not necessarily played as well as he has before, but man, 9,300 is cheap.
Yeah. Patrick Reed is an elite ball striker, elite around the green guy, an elite
and
putter.
Spieth's the same way, especially the way Spieth's playing right now.
Yeah,
as we're literally watching him. Yeah, Finau's interesting. Not playing great right now. I think he's right.
Probably gonna miss the cut. I think he's +3.
Oh, did he fall to +3?
Yeah, I think he's.
And then Webb is somebody who is just consistent as all get out, but not necessarily played great recently.
I feel like it's a lot of no respect on Webb down at 9K.
Yeah, but again, when we talked about the soft pricing, this is what we're talking about. Like you're getting guys in this $9,000 range that 95% of tournaments that they play in are $10,000 plus.
Easily, yeah.
It's going to be hard to ever get any of these guys at 9,000. So you're going to feel good about your roster.
You're always going to feel good about your rosters.
And then again, just going off of that, the people who are in the 8,000 are probably $9,000 guys easy. People like Hatton or Sanjay or Hovland.
Yeah.
Berger. I mean, the way Berger's been playing recently.
Scheffler who's been slaying.
He's playing terrible right now. But
you think he's finally got that 7-round hangover catching up to him? That was the narrative all week, is that he wasn't going to be able to play good golf because he played 7 rounds. Because what?
Because he played all.
He played 7 rounds of the match play.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the area where you could probably roster a lot of these people, and it allows you to avoid the lower end of the. And the thing about the lower end is it's not that those guys can't win or can't do well. It's just that the probability that they're going to do that's lower.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think in a tournament like this, when you're able to get guys in the $8,000 range, you may be able to avoid rostering somebody in the 6 to 7 range, and maybe end up with 3 people from this range, 1 or 2 people from the $9,000 range, and then you only have to get 1 in like the 7s.
I mean, honestly, you with the $8,300 average price of a golfer, you could roster 6 guys from this list almost.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Fleetwood did play better during the match play.
He did. He's not my favorite.
And so as you go, you go Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, and then you get at the upper end Hatton, Hovland, Sunjay.
Yeah.
That's most of the way there, and you might have to dip into the 7,000s, but it's
Hovland,
still a good roster.
Berger, Scheffler, Smith, Fitzpatrick. I wonder if that gets us there. It's probably slightly.
You're slightly over, but you can fill it in with some of the $7,000 guys. And but as we said, I think this is where I'm going to make most of my rosters, basically the core of my rosters, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have 3 people from this slide in basically every roster.
That makes sense.
And probably play a little bit with the $9,000 and $10,000 guys, and then play around a little bit at the bottom. But this is definitely where I'm going to.
I think between the 9 and 8 range, all the 9,000.
As we look, literally between these 2 slides, if I could get a Spieth, Reed, Hovland, lineup, I'm probably looking at a mid 7s for my last 2 guys. And
4 of 6 between those 2 slides, probably.
I'm super happy. And as we go into 7,500, you've got people and again,
Paul Casey at 7,700.
Who's
that
played
is
really,
some
really well.
Disrespect.
Adam Scott played well. He was $9,000 2 weeks ago.
Jason Day, 7,500.
He's been Jason Day's been above 8 every tournament.
I mean,
even
these
the players.
are some stuff. Honestly, you could roster Scott, Casey, and Day and feel good about it.
Yeah,
and 100%.
And you can probably get everyone in the top of the 8s, bottom of the 9s.
Yep.
And so, that's probably where I'm going to end up with a lot of this, is that I'm going to end up with a lot of guys here. I'm going to end up with a lot of guys in the 8s, a lot of guys in the 9s. And, probably some guys in the 10s too, but that's just because I really like Rory.
Yeah, I really like Rory and DJ. I'm going to have my share of DJ.
Yeah, that's fair. But as we move down,
you
even
still
in the
have
7s,
good golfers down here.
Joaquin Niemann.
He's basically been playing professional golf since he was 12. I think that's probably true.
And Zalatoris is somebody who
28 of 29
every week.
cuts.
We pumped every week. And, he's a younger guy, so you don't know how he's going to perform in the Masters, but he's played so well.
Yeah. Horschel's on crazy form. Homa, crazy
Justin
form.
Rose may or may not play at any given day. But Homa, Lowry played really well at, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks before the match play.
Yeah. And again, this is the hard part of this, is that who do you hone in on here? And my recommendation, it depends on how many rosters you build.
Yeah.
If you're building 20, I think you have to hone in on less than all, right?
Yeah.
Maybe pick a couple from this area, 2 or 3 from the 7 to 7.4, 2 or 3 from the 7 to 7,500 to 7.9. If you're building 150, sure, get a smattering of everybody. But,
so I don't want to smattering of everyone. I meant to touch on this earlier when we were talking about roster construction. So one thing I've been looking at is past winners on some of these really big field tournaments and what their actual construction for their 150 was. So Big T won the Millie Maker he actually won the Millie Maker and the Drive the Green for the Players Championship. And looking back at his construction, he had one golfer at 78%. I don't remember actually who that was that he rostered. But anyways, he had a golfer at 78%. Then he had 3 golfers at 50%. He had a handful more. I think it was 5 or 6 more at 30%. And then he had a total smattering after that.
Yeah.
I believe he had a total of 60 golfers in his pool, which seems like a lot. When you're talking about 144 golfers, but he did build 150 lineups that he put in both tournaments.
So I mean, but basically what he did was what we were talking about earlier, where like he literally had a set core.
Yeah, 78% of one
50,
golfer.
50 plus.
3 golfers at 50%.
And it was just a bunch of combos of the rest of it, and he hit on one of those
and
that was right.
Actually, 2 of them because he won first and
yeah,
second.
Exactly. But like, the thing is that yeah, he hit it and he won $1 million. What did he end up getting? Like
he
$2
won like
million?
$1.3 million.
Yeah, something stupid.
It was ridiculous.
But like,
he literally finished better than the third.
Yeah.
2 guys tied for third place. Yeah. He earned more money than the actual golfers that tied for third in the tournament.
But and the thing is that he, but he also was going in with the risk factor of if that 78% golfer, if those 50% golfers, if they missed the cut, then like he was screwed, right? But he really honed in on him, and I think that's something in DFS, and especially if you're playing all the time, is that the smaller the and I mean obviously he had 60 people in his pool, so maybe not your entire player pool, but really your upper player pool, like the people that you're playing a lot of.
Yeah.
Like you need to have guys that you're playing 50 to 70% of the time.
Your best weekend, I mean, off subject, but NASCAR. I mean, you had Truex, I think, in like 55%.
Yeah, like
the
trucks last week. I had him in 60% of my rosters, and he led most of the laps and won.
And he dominated.
And and I had.
But you had a ton of good lineups because you had such a heavy Truex.
And if he would have wrecked, which happened in the
Larson in the
Cup race, exactly.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of Chris Bell in the Cup race, he got wrecked, and it didn't ruin me because I had other rosters, but like it definitely didn't. It wasn't as fun of a day.
Yeah.
But I think that's how you win when you're playing consistently.
And that's why bankroll management is important. So any given slate shouldn't wipe you out. I am not the pillar of bankroll management.
And girls.
But in theory, if you're only playing 5% of your roll, you can take hard stances like that on any given slate because any given slate, who cares if you go for bust? Whereas I probably need to work on my bankroll management because I don't put 5% of my roll in play. Anyways, on to the next slide.
Yeah. But yeah, and then even as we get down here, you're getting people who are
6,900. Put some respect on
Kokrak has been high sevens every tournament,
and he's been playing well.
He's been playing well. Even as you go further down, Kuchar, who finished third at the match play,
and
playing
well
right now as we're watching. Woodland's playing okay right now.
Siwoo Kim, always love.
Yeah. I mean, even somebody like Phil, who again has performed well at the Masters before, and as long as he doesn't have a huge blow up like he did yesterday.
Winner in 2018, I believe, 2017. Danny Willett,
I think he's 16. But
16, yeah.
No, I mean these are people who, again have a good opportunity to score a lot of points. I'm probably going to stay away from some of them. Like somebody that I'm going to stay away from that I really like, but just scares the bejesus out of me is Cam Champ.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Possibly
but also
make
he
the
just
cut.
Misses the cut like half the time.
He's
the half he makes it, he's awesome.
He's a killer ball striker, but he is boom bust. So it'll be interesting. He played really bad on Thursday. Actually, looks like
he's
playing
an awesome
better today. And he actually chipped in to go -2, so go to +2. I mean, so he may make the cut today.
He's a Nike guy. He has a great hat shirt combo every week.
All right.
So if you're into that,
we're gonna connect him with Scheffler's people and get him queued up.
He's also a Nike guy. Why does he not have better apparel?
Who is outfitting Scheffler? Can we put them together?
I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, there's people here. Ryan Palmer is somebody at 6,500 that is probably going to end up filling probably the bottom 3 here. Palmer, McIntyre, are going to fill out a bunch of my rosters because at 6,500,
you can do so much up top with low guys.
It's hard not to roster them because they're very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so literally, I went through all of my saying about how most of my people are going to be, in the 8 range and 7 range, but like as you're looking at this, it doesn't have to be. I think there is definitely a kind of a decision making on how you want to go about it. Whether or not you're, again, if you're only doing 20 rosters, you have to be okay with picking one. You just pick one. I think that is my biggest advice based on like doing this the amount of time that I've done is that when you go like 5 different ways with how you select your like people, and you're like, oh, these are some rosters where like I picked 4 really good people and then like 2 bad people, and then this one is like, that's where you end up like at a detriment when like you get to the weekend.
Okay.
And so, just going with a strategy, having your strategy, and with 20 rosters, executing that strategy for 20 rosters. For 150, obviously, it's a little bit different because you can play a little bit. There's a little bit more give and take, but it's very similar in that. And so, as we looked at the sub 6, and even here, like Lanta Griffin has been so good. I don't know how he ended up playing last week, but this week it was one that.
I think he's gonna make the cut at +2, possibly.
There you go.
But Stuart Sink down there at 6,100. We talked about Bobby Mack and Ryan Palmer, Kevin Knott. That range.
Most of the time in this area, you're not getting guys that you feel confident are making the cut. And I would feel confident about Lance Griffin and Stuart Sink making the cut.
Definitely. Especially like we said, where 80 players potentially are actually playing, and 50 of them are going to make the cut. Plus ties.
I would feel confident rostering any of these 5, and I would put money on them making the cut. So
more often than not.
I think that's kind of where it is. I don't think we have to dip into it.
Yeah, there's something pricing so soft you don't have to get in the 6K range at all.
So I think that's definitely something to keep track of. There's definitely people down there. I think I would be selective on them. Yep. I wouldn't be randomly selecting.
They're probably not my 78% golfer.
No, absolutely not. So, and as we move into our favorites this week,
there is a lot of guys on here that I like. Some of the guys we already highlighted. Cantlay, who was my first bet of the week. Morikawa's first time here, but just plays unreal. Spieth, who's going to be super high owned, but looking great this week, has been playing really well. I really want to see how he plays on Sunday. We haven't seen him put together a good 4-round tournament yet. So it'll be interesting to see if he can put together 4 rounds. Patrick Reed, we talked about, way underpriced for his talent level. Hovland, newcomer here, but
he's
just
not
unreal. Is he not? Oh, no. I'm sorry, he was amateur.
He was low
am. Yeah.
And he also played last year.
Okay, I'm going to stop making things up. Cam Smith finished second last go. Casey, 7,700. Coco, and then Siwoo Kim at 6,700. Those are some of our favorites. But
I also, when it says R, it definitely means Keaton. So I'll throw in also my favorites as well. I really like Rory. I really like Spieth. I really, really like Hovland at 8,700. And then Reed at 9,300 as we keep going through this. Like, I want to have 60% of Reed.
There you go. Reed's going to be your stud for the week.
That's just what I want.
All right. I like Reed as stud of the week. Reed could easily win this tournament.
He did not play in the Masters last year, but he was low AM in 2018.
Okay.
Or 2019.
Yeah, I think Reed could easily win this tournament.
2019. Yeah. I'm gonna have a hard time not finding him a lot at 9,300, and probably Spieth's the same way. And Hovland, I'll probably have, of my 20 rosters, I will probably have 5 of them with those 3.
I was gonna say you could roster all 3 of those and still have plenty of money to spend.
Yeah, probably those 3, and then a different combo of the other 3.
You could go Spieth, Reed, Hovland, Casey, and have so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like, I can probably roster those 3 and still get to like Rory.
Yeah, and then if you're willing to go down to Siwoo and a Stuart Sink, you probably get there.
I think that's the thing in all of this is that being cognizant of who your people are. Don't just do a smattering of random people. Picking the people that you think can finish top 15. Because I think Paul Casey can finish top 15 easy
at 7,700.
At 7,700. I think Connors has shown time and time again he is a probably a top 10 golfer, but like top 15, top 20 golfer.
If he can putt, he's amazing.
Yeah,
his putting kind of sucks.
Is scary because like putting is something that is rewarded or not rewarded. You see, that's how Adam Scott ended up winning the Masters. Was he went to the long putter and was only marginally atrocious at putting, but he was the best ball striker possibly to ever exist. And again, Adam Scott is somebody that we talked about that's not on this list, but he's in the sevens, right?
Yeah, he's cheap. Yeah.
So I'll probably have a good amount of him.
But yeah.
Nonetheless, but as you go through, try to limit your player pool. Try to limit as much as possible.
Especially if you're playing less lineups.
Yeah. If you're doing 150, sure, maybe have 50 to 60 people in your player pool.
Well, with this few golfers, I probably would still aim.
How many are you aiming at? Because full. I do 20 every week. Keaton normally does 150, right?
Yeah, usually. I would say with 90 golfers, but realistically call it 80 because tender's not playing. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna limit my pool to 45-ish would be my goal. Half the field, which is probably more than I would do in a normal event, but it's the Masters. So I'm going to guess 45 is going to be my player pool.
And mine's probably going to be 20.
Yeah, that makes sense. For 20 lineups, that makes sense. I think that's probably right. Make those hard decisions. Trim out some guys. There's so many values. It's so tough. That's why DraftKings does it, right? They've got to fill up 473,000. We're going to talk about on the next slide. DraftKings has got some massive contests this week. 3 million makers. 4,444, which I'm not going to be playing unless I win a ticket this weekend. I've got 2 decent lineups in satellite for that, so if I win a seat, that'd be fantastic. But
what's the you can have it's like an 18 max enter, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Awesome is the only one doing that. I don't know who's really doing that. I assume there's Forsaken and a few other guys are probably doing that, but. Anyway, so yeah, the 444 probably won't be playing.
Which are probably your best odds by far.
Oh, to win $1 million, absolutely. But I don't have $4,000 to spend on golf.
Coward.
The $100 million maker, I will at least put one in. Definitely.
I have one.
Ricky won a ticket.
I won one in NASCAR.
So Ricky's gonna be playing that. I'll put at least one in.
And there's still 29,000 people or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 29, 28, something like that. And then the big dog itself, $10. 473,000 runners, but $1 million up top. That contest is an SHIT show.
Is it 150 max?
It is 150 max. I gotta imagine that's pretty low expected value. So if you're gonna 150 max, that's probably not the contest I would 150 max unless you are 150
unless you want to win $1 million.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you have the bankroll of 150 max, that let us know how it goes.
If you have only $5 and you say, hey, I want to be in a high probability of maybe not losing, we are running a 10-person contest. Top 2 positions are paid, $5 entry. I don't know what top 2 pays.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look at DraftKings. I'm gonna guess it is 50, so probably 22.50 and maybe 12.50. No, that doesn't make sense. 17.50.
It's probably 50-20, but yeah.
But DraftKings got to take their cut. But so 7 spots left as of Friday afternoon. So we'll put a link in the show notes below if you want to take me and Ricky's
31.50,
31.50 and 13.50. There you go. If you want to take me and Ricky's $5, we'll put a link below. Go ahead and sign up and play that contest with us.
But yeah, exactly. So try to beat us. You'll probably be able to beat me. Maybe not Keaton.
We'll see. I'm going to put my main lineup in this one. My main lineup that I do for all my single entries, I will put in this lineup. So if you want to see what my single entry lineup is, go ahead and join us.
Yeah, and as we go, again, we are doing this a little bit early so that we get as many people to be able to watch it as possible. As we get closer to the Masters, we will be tweeting about it at Pin DFS. Our individual Twitters are in the show notes as well.
Yep. Ricky's is at TRParker25.
Nope, TRParker10.
Oh, you should change that to 25. He is now the race car number 25 driver, so he's going to have to change that handle. I don't know how Twitter changing handle works.
It's pretty easy as long as it's not taken.
Perfect. So Ricky's soon to be TRParker25. Keaton's is at JohnGaltJD. But yeah, down in the show notes. Thanks for watching, guys.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, and good luck on all of this, because as we talked about with the Millionaire Maker, there is a lot of people playing,
and you'll need all the luck.
I want all the luck in the world. Scotty just went to 3-0.
Woo! Scotty misses the cut after he started the day at -4. That would be insane. He is +7 on the day. Scotty is pooping the bed.
He just missed a 6-footer.
Oh God! I mean, that started left or right, whatever, and
Started
never
right,
moved.
Stayed right.
All
But
right.
nonetheless, he will probably play really well. And honestly, just full thing, if he misses the cut, probably more of a reason to get him for the Masters.
Yeah, it'll help
probably
keep
be
that
underwhelmed.
lower. Yeah.
But anyways, thanks to Southern Tier. No, Southern Range.
Southern
Tier,
Range,
everyone.
Ice Cube is a pimp.
Yeah.
Awesome beer.
Thank you
very,
so much.
Very good.
Bye, everybody.
Good luck.